Welcome to Salcedo Paranormal. It is Wednesday, September 7th, 2022, and tonight I will be reviewing more short stories from H.P. Lovecraft, The Complete Fiction. As always, you can find all the episodes of the show along with links to social media, ways to donate, and ways to contact me at the podcast page, and that is SALSIDO paranormal.podbean.com. That's salcedo paranormal.podbean.com. Happy to hear from you all, whether you have comments or questions or topic suggestions or stories of paranormal experiences, whether they're your own or from others that you trust. Happy to either read those or have you join me on the show to talk about them. And we can work around whatever we need to as far as scheduling. So, I have a handful of stories here that I've listened to and I have summaries for. We'll see how many we can get through today. I always try to have extra, just so that I don't run out, but also I don't. You never know how long these reviews are going to take. So, but thank you all for listening, as always. Whether you listen to the live streams or the podcast or YouTube feeds. So, and also, I've noticed some views over on the TikTok channel, which is just really amazing as well, considering how short those videos are. So thank you all for all of that. And so I will get to the stories here. And some of these I listened to a while back. The last couple, if we get to them, I listened to just this last weekend. So the first one that I'll talk about here tonight is it's called, let's see here, Facts Concerning the Late Arthur Jermyn and His Family. Now, Jermyn, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. It is spelled Jermyn. So it sounds like the nationality, or I believe that's what you call that. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but that is the name of the family that is kind of talked about in this story here. And so this story starts with it really covers, like I said, a family, basically an ancestry and a lineage of going back to Sir Arthur Jermyn, or Jermyn. I don't know why I said Jermyn, who is a British nobleman. His great grandfather was Sir Wade Jermyn, who was an explorer of the Congo early on, the Congo area, and apparently he wrote books on a mysterious civilization there, full of what they say, white civilization. Not sure what exactly that means for sure, but of course these books were ridiculed, dismissed, and he was confined, apparently probably because of this and other details. He was confined to an asylum in 1765. And Lovecraft in the story describes how the family has a weird physical appearance that began to show up in the children of Wade Jermyn and his wife, who claimed was from another country. Wade's son, it says, Philip, was a sailor, joined the Navy after also getting together with someone and having a few kids. But he disappeared from his ship, also near the Congo coast. It says that Philip's son, Robert Jermyn, was a scientist that also went to this area of Africa. So a lot of these people, they have ties to this area in this story. And so he also eventually got married to a fictional, another fictional noble. Of course, they say in this article here, and they had 3 kids, but 2 of them suffered from severe disabilities. It says, but the middle one did not, and his name was Neville Jermyn. So there is a point to all this, just so everyone knows. Neville had a son, Alfred, who was Arthur Jermyn's father. Now, of course, the title of the story is Facts Concerning the Late Arthur Jermyn and His Family. So there's kind of where we get to that character. And so I lost my spot here. One moment as I find it. So, okay. So Arthur Jermyn. And so it says in 1852, Robert Jermyn met with an explorer who described this gray city of white apes ruled by a white god. Again, this is back in a little ways back. There's a lot more of, unfortunately, that kind of implied racism in some of these stories, unfortunately. But that's also, I believe, in some cases, just part of how, unfortunately, some writing was at the time. But this explorer, Robert Jermyn, killed this explorer after hearing about this. And let's see here. This is where it gets tricky. But Neville Jermyn, it says, after that, managed to save, I guess it would be the explorer's son, Alfred, before he passed. And Robert Jermyn was put in an asylum and passed away there. So from here, it mentions that Alfred Jermyn inherited his father's title, but let's see here. I'm trying to get through all this. A lot of this is just about the family history. But so Arthur Jermyn, it mentions here, has a very unusual appearance. Supposedly the strangest of all the people in this family. And Arthur becomes a scholar, eventually going to the Belgian Congo on a research Belgian Congo on a research expedition where he hears of the city, the strange city that's out there. And so once he gets back to a trading post, Arthur finds an agent. They don't really say, I guess, a commercial agent who offers to find and ship this the goddess of this city, the body of this supposed goddess, to him. And so Arthur comes back to England, to the UK, and the body arrives at the house. And Arthur begins to examine this mummy, basically. But eventually, for some reason, in this examination of this mummy, he ends up going insane. And again, typical dark horror story here. Ends up doing things that lead to his death. So from there, it goes to the story goes to the contents of this goddess's coffin. There appears to be a golden locket around her neck with the German coat of arms on it. That's the weird thing about this. And apparently looks similar to Arthur Jermyn. And so apparently Wade Jermyn's wife, it says, was actually this mummy, and all the descendants were came from this union of this remains of this woman and then the Germans. And so it says that Arthur's remains were not collected or buried because of this, and the mummy is also burned. So it's just really this strange story of this family history and these reports of this strange city in the Congo, and then the events that happened because of that. It's obviously done a lot better than what I just described here. Per usual with Lovecraft. Again, I forgot to mention at the beginning of this episode there will be spoilers. However, there's so much in these stories, I just really summarize them and try to touch on the paranormal aspects of all this. So, of course, it makes you wonder what was there something else about this mummy that drove her ancestor basically insane. So, neat story, like I said, told a heck of a lot better than what I was able to describe there. So that's the first story. That's it for that one. This next one here the title is From Beyond. And this is a shorter story. So this is, there's a unnamed narrator, which happens in some of these stories here from Lovecraft. He just has somebody that tells a story who becomes a friend, basically makes a friend with the scientist named Tillinghast. I'm guessing is his last name. And I'll go with his first name, which is Crawford. Crawford creates a machine that sends out this resonance wave that somehow it stimulates a person's pineal gland, which allows them to perceive other planes of existence outside the normal one that everybody else sees. And so the narrator is shown this device, and it's turned on while he's there to visit his friend. And I remember this story. When he was called or summoned to visit his friend, this Crawford scientist guy, the scientist guy anyway, he finds the remains, the bodies of Crawford's servants just lying on the floor at different places within this house. So he's already starting to get freaked out by all this. But once this device is activated, he sees this other dimension or other level of reality where apparently there are endless hordes of, says, strange and horrific creatures that defy description, which is typical of Lovecraft, but still amazing when you think about it. And apparently Crawford used the device. He basically admits here that he used the device to transport his servants into that other realm, and the creatures there are what killed them, and that's why they are that's how they died somehow. And so basically there is this creature, as the story is being told, that is right behind the narrator, and the narrator pulls out a gun and manages to shoot the machine, which destroys it, and Crawford dies immediately after, and basically from some kind of a seizure. Says that the police investigate the area, and it's they determine that Crawford murdered the servants, even though it says their remains are never found, which is really odd. So apparently they somehow disappeared. maybe even because of the destruction of that machine. So, really amazing story there. Great horror. All these are great horror stories, and it can take a little while to get used to the way Lovecraft writes. Sometimes I think because it is from a ways back, the early 1900s, that kind of time period. But once you get used to it, the stories are really amazing. Um, so, so that's the second story. I think I might be able to get through all 5 of these today. We'll see. I'll at least get through one more. Um, so this next story is called He. Just 2 letters, He. So this story, again, has another, this is why I brought it up. The narrator is anonymous. He's uh, moved from somewhere in New England to New York City. And even though he regrets it, this is an amazing story here. It says that one night while he was walking through a historic part of Greenwich Village in New York City, he found a man dressed in clothes from the 18th century, and the man offered to show the narrator the secrets of the town. And so the narrator follows this man into through parts of this town that he doesn't recognize, and into this house that turns out belonged to the man that he found, and which I believe is the title character, which is he. And this man, he tells the narrator a story of a squire who bargained with Native Americans in the area for the secrets of their rituals concerning time and space that were practiced in the area. And after learning the secrets, of course, this squire killed the people that gave him the secrets. Basically through poisoning. And in the end, he was the only one that knew their secrets. So he in after he basically tells the story, he shows the city in different time periods, both in the past, well, basically the future, and then the past. And then, but he tells the narrator to be quiet. But in seeing everything that is shown through the windows of this mansion, the screams. This man then the narrator ends up screaming, and the spirits, this is where ghosts come in, come back and find this squire, this he, and end up basically killing him. This is the idea. It doesn't really go into details, but the narrator flees and is okay because the spirits aren't after him. But really amazing story with the detail and everything, and there's a sense of exploration of the area and learning about a new area, and then these windows of this mansion. It's really, it's like the mansion is a older representation of a of a time machine in a way. So really great story again. Just definitely recommend reading it. All these stories, checking them out. So that takes care of that one. And let me see here. Yeah, I can get to the last 2. So this next one is called Herbert West, Reanimator. Now, the title alone gives something away, but it's Time Machine. But it's amazing in the story how how much more there is to it than just the basic title of the story. So let me get back to the file here. Let's see here. So there's this is actually, the story is released in a series of parts in magazines. Oh my gosh, let me see here. You know what? I'm looking at this. Let me see here. I just want to make sure I can do this. There's like 3. You know what? 4. Yeah. This might have to be its own show. I'm sorry to tease like that, but I didn't realize. I forgot. This is probably one of the longest stories that's in this group of stories. So it'd probably take another 20 minutes or more to get through this, and there's still more after that. So I think what I will do is save those last 2 stories, and then I know I'm teasing y'all. Sorry. But save this for next time, because the summary is just, it's long. But I definitely recommend checking out that story if you can find it. And it does deal with kind of like what the title suggests, which is bringing people back to life, and the craziness that happens because of that. So, and yeah, it is a long one. So that'll do it for today. Sorry about that. I hadn't realized that was gonna happen that way, but that's just, there's a lot there to cover. So I think that'll do it for today. Tomorrow I will be covering paranormal news. So thank you all for listening again to these review episodes. They are difficult in a way to do, but I always enjoy them anyway. And so I will talk to you all next time, tomorrow night, on the next episode of Salcedo Paranormal. Take care.